Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bad Moon's Orbit. I am, as always, your Vengorian Lord, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darian Smart, Princess of Power.
Ooh, very fun one today. Bit of a contrast today because, dear listeners, as my title implied, and Darian's definitely didn't. I guess, well, yeah, we'll get into it. We got a little bit of a nobility running theme today.
Mine was a She-Ra reference.
It's true. But today we're going to be talking about vampires. We're going to be talking about the Age of Sigmar term for the faction in which all the vampires live is the Soulblight Gravelords.
Ooh, It's spooky season.
It's spooky season, probably.
Yes. You said September for this episode.
I was going to say, I think we're getting into September for this episode, so that will be
I see.
perfect.
Dalton doesn't know when spooky season starts. Dalton's spooky season starts the day after 4th of July.
Oh,
July
perfect.
the 5th is when spooky season starts. Ideally, we would have autumnal weather, but we simply do not. For some folks, it'll start in August. For some, they will wait until September. But it's like how summer doesn't technically start until June 21st.
Right.
But you wouldn't look at someone who says summertime in May 24th and say you're wrong.
True.
So it's spooky season.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're well into spooky season.
Yes. And so in celebration of spooky season, let's talk about some vampires. Let's talk about some vampires. One of our classic...
Oh, we have to do the thing.
Oh, we do have to do the thing. Thank
you have a good thing. I mean, it'll be completely out of sync by the time... But I don't think you talked about the thing you put on.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you don't have to do that if you had another one. You just think you totally forgot. So
No, I was just trying to think of what you did. My brain's a jumble all the time. Yeah. We actually I ran with Darian's help. You contributed.
Oh, sure. I provided some graphic design.
Yeah, I was going to say, we ran a local tournament here. We're both Boise locals, from this podcast. And if you've listened to Darian's podcasts, actually ran a little tournament over here. When we're recording this, we have the Boise Cup coming up. That's our local qualifying tournament here in the Boise area for Age of Sigmar national competition.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. And so a couple weeks ago, we ran a little one-day tournament preparatory for the Boise Cup, the pre-Cup clash. It was a ton of fun. We got some good games in. Like I said, Darian made some nice trophies for wisest.
I made some certificates that Dalton had printed and framed.
Yeah, same thing.
Yep.
For wisest general, raddest paints, and best sports. Most sports, excuse me. Which is funnier.
Most sports, yes, because I got it confused, and then I decided that's funny. So It was most sports, and raddest paints, and wisest general.
Yeah, and that was a ton of fun. Had a good time. Hey, if any day where you can go out and get 3 games with your friends, like, what a time to be alive. So that's my cool game thing for the week, yeah.
Excellent. Hey, I bought tarot cards.
Ooh,
Sorry,
yeah.
That makes it sound like it's the first time I've done that. I have many, many tarot card decks. I got a new one that I wanted to talk about briefly.
Yeah.
And folks are like, well, that's not a game thing. Tarot started out as a set of playing cards in like the 15th century called tarocchini from Italy. So like it totally counts. But it's called Tarot for You and Me, a queer deck and guidebook. The text is by Gary DeAndre and illustrations by Jeff Vostag. I don't know why I added so much mustard on that last name. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's really neat. I have a lot of tarot decks. I didn't need another one, but this one spoke to me, and I deeply appreciate the art style. I like the very thoughtful details that have been added for the approach to remove certain heteronormative aspects that are inherent to the tarot archetypes. Yeah. Because they are from like the 15th century and then recontextualized in the 18th century. So there's some old-fashioned gender stuff that appears through there. Yeah. And the creator just made a point to be like, but what if it didn't have to? Yeah. And it's got like, and they changed the concept of the suits to be like lanterns and chalices. Well, chalices, cups. But plants and what was the other one? It was, instead of wands, they did flags. Mm-hmm. And it's very good, and I like it a lot. And also, Mabel from Gravity Falls is just here as the star. Like, that's just Mabel from Gravity Falls.
Listen, Disney wouldn't let those cops be gay, but Gravity Falls is a, is a staple of queer culture.
So, I just wanted to tell everybody about my cool new tarot card deck.
Hell yeah.
It's super neat.
Yeah. We love a tarot. I love tarot theming and imagery and everything associated with it. And it's a nice bi-weekly reminder that this is a LGBT space, this is an LGBT podcast. We're inclusive and chill here.
Yeah, if you have a problem with that, you can go find your free entertainment somewhere else.
Right. Not a 40K podcast.
Not a 40K podcast.
That's unfair. There are queer people in 40K spaces. Probably kind of like, there's a lot of queer fans of like Lovecraftian horror, including at least one of the people in this recording booth. Speaking of things that are not bad things. Well, they're bad. They're vampires. But
vampires are not good.
No.
But a narrative,
but they're
not
cool.
bad.
Yeah, exactly.
When they appear in a narrative, I'm never mad.
You got it. First off, when I say Soulblight Gravelords, the hell is a Soulblight? That's probably a good place to start, right?
You know what? I would have honestly been like, that's what the fish elves have.
Yeah,
they have Soulblight.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But no, for whatever reason, the Soulblight curse is AOS's term for the condition that gives you vampirism.
Because they needed to copyright it.
Yeah.
They couldn't copyright vampire.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So someone with the curse can be called soul-blighted. They're often just still referred to as vampires. The terms are interchangeable in the universe. But the thing that you have that makes you a vampire is the Soulblight curse. There's not like all my Elder Scrolls fans in the audience. There's not like a Vampiria sanguinis, which is what the disease that gives you vampirism in Elder Scrolls is called.
In the Shadowhunter books is a demon curse.
Oh, fun. But yeah, Soulblight curse has been around for a long time, to be fair. We have a strict line of continuity. We know when vampirism started and like how it made, because it started in the old world, and we know how it made the jump to the new world.
What? It's spread? It's spread reality?
Yeah.
Crazy. Go on. When do we get to talk about Queen of the Damned?
Whatever you want.
Cool. I'll find it. I'll find a time.
So we have our original vampire.
Vampire Lestat, go on.
No,
that's not the original vampire.
No.
I'm making a joke. Go on.
I'll throw up the old world klaxon that I don't know old world lore as well, so I might miss details here. But our original vampire in the setting is a lady named Neferata, which is a good name.
It is the Queen of the Damned.
I was going to say, I figured that reference was going to get to come back quick.
Hey! Akasha is the Queen of the Damned. She was the first vampire in Anne Rice. I keep saying Queen of the Damned, and it occurs to me maybe not everybody knows. It's from Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. There's a couple movies. There's a TV series about it. The most recent one came out very recently, and it was about the vampire Lestat and Atlantis. I'm thinking about buying it for my mom as a gift. She won't get the irony.
Oh, no. Neferata.
I'm getting Egyptian vibes.
Yes. Yeah. Neferata.
Just like Queen of the Damned.
I was going to say, Neferata is our original vampire. Listeners, if you remember from our Shaiish episode, I talked about where Nagash came from, right? Nagash was once a mortal man. He was the second son in line to inherit the throne. Or no, he was the first son, because that's the thing that they did weird in Khemri.
Well, they make him go work as a priest, right?
Yes, because he was the first son. So it was the higher honor to work in the mortuary cult, hypothetically, but it meant he would never have contact with real power, which Nagash could not abide, obviously. So he learned secrets of shadow magic from Marathi's cult. And he mixed that with Shaishian magic, the magic of death. And so Nagash invented necromancy.
God damn it.
And then he immediately took on disciples, one of which was Neferata.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so Nef goes way back.
She is pulling some Hatshepsut moves right here, wearing the pharaoh's beard and all of these things. I respect her.
Yes. Khemri is very Egyptian coded in the old world. And that's why Nagash has the big hat. That's why Arkan, who's another one of Nagash's disciples back from when he was alive, has the big hat.
The big hat.
Yeah. It's just kind of a staple of Khemrian nobility. So, as I said, we're not going to talk about Arkan in this episode, but he was Nagash's first disciple. He got extremely good at necromancy and Nagash's own thing. But Arkan basically tried to, because they had all figured out okay, we can raise skeletons, but they were still trying to work towards immortality. That was kind of the prize.
Always the end goal for necromancers is actually we want immortality.
Yes. So Arkan and Nagash eventually reach it by becoming big skeleton men.
Okay.
But Neferata is royalty. Like she's used to enjoying like the finer things of life.
She can't just be a big skeleton lady.
I was going to say, she didn't want to become a skeleton lady. Mm-mm. How would she like eat delicious food?
You know what? I feel that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I could be immortal, but I'd have to be a skeleton, and I could never like enjoy a boba again. I don't think that's gonna work for me. I will not take any immortality deal that does not include still getting to eat good food or take a nap. Vampirism is fucking off the table. Classic vampires were like, oh, we don't eat and we don't sleep.
Right.
Two of my favorite things gone forever. Why would I want to be immortal?
So like Nef's not gonna go the Arcane and the Nagash route because she doesn't want to be a skeleton. She's also a little bit vain, like she
what a mood.
Cares for her beauty and she likes to like
couldn't be me.
Yeah, she likes to and there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's neat. And so she's like, okay, not gonna become a skeleton. I need to figure out a different thing that lets me still enjoy all of these like pleasures of living. So she takes that same like Shaishian death magic and that shadow magic and like mixes it in her own concoction, and then the like spark that eventually makes the whole thing come together is that she does this ritual meant to grant her immortality, and in the moment she's just thinking that like she's going to take like a part of what already worked from Nagash, because he had at this point made himself immortal, but his body was like dying. He was turning into skeleton man, but he was still around. And so as part of that ritual, Neferata drank Nagash's blood. And so that's the there's a metaphysical, magical through line for vampirism.
Cool.
Right. Is Neferata unlocks the secret to immortality. She gets what she wants. Vampires still can feel touch and taste and like hot and cold, all of those like sensations that make living worth living. But the kicker is that like blood. Yeah. Is the thirst is what they call it. Vampires are harrowed by the thirst. They have to drink blood to satiate it. They always crave it.
This standard stuff.
Yeah, standard stuff. They require untainted blood. So
what does that mean?
It just means no fellow vampires, basically.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also pretty standard.
Yeah, and different kinds of blood can like screw with them. Like vampires do not like drinking like very heavily chaos mutated people's blood because it fucks with their body. We're going to get into this during the Age of Myth, when vampires were playing nice as part of like being parts of the like cohorts of Nagash, and like helping build cities and like directing the vampires are the most skilled necromancers in existence, because their bodies are just filled with Shaishi and magic. And so like during the Age of Myth, we get a ton of stories of like I said this during the one of the like Age of Myth episodes. If you are just like a person living in a town in the Age of Myth and you want a new house, you might just go to your local vampire and ask for a new house, and they're going to have skeletons put it together. And that's like
kind of great.
Yeah, it's everybody working together. It's the thing we were trying to do. And so during the age, but vampires still have the hunger, they still have the thirst. And so during the Age of Myth, that was mostly satiated either through donations of blood. Like I said, in that example I just gave, maybe that's the like...
I was going to say, the payment is okay.
Yeah. The people of the town just each give a little bit of blood every month. The vampire stays in their service. If they want to stop paying... Bloodletting, just like nick yourself and let it...
Because they don't... Again, we're in fantasy... They don't have, like, needles and shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Just cut yourself somewhere where it's not going to, like, screw up your... Like, don't cut your palms. I don't know why everywhere... Yeah. I don't know why fantasy media always makes you cut your palm.
It's so cool. It looks... Listen, the drama. Cutting, like, the back of your... No, you could do... If you had your hand... I was going to say it doesn't look nearly as, like, cool. But no, if you just, like, had your hand as a fist and you just, like, made, like, dead eye, like, direct eye contact, slow blade across, like, the back of your forearm, that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
That would be a fine spot, right? That part of your skin doesn't really move.
You get a little bit of a scar probably, but whatever.
Like a cool scar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so
it would heal faster than your palms that are constantly being moved.
Yes. And so that was one way that like vampires say themselves. And also there's just an agreement between like members of the Pantheon and Gorka Morka that vampires would feed on orcs as well. Orcs are going to be fighting anyways. They just have to do that to survive.
Yeah.
And so vampires just taking a field against orcs and like drinking the blood of a couple of orcs, like no big deal. Like
okay.
Everybody's chill. Only caveat that vampires don't like drinking orc blood because it wires them up.
It makes like I'm really fucking caffeinated right now.
It fills
just
them
jittery as hell.
Yeah, it fills them with that like destructive verve that orcs have. So it's a little bit of just like it basically gives them like a dear listener. I've never done a drug, but
I feel
it's kind of like a meth adjacent like
they
high,
don't
where they just kind of want to they want to break stuff and they're a little bit like oh like.
But it's not fun for them.
No,
I guess
absolutely.
That makes sense. For me, I was thinking of if you accidentally mess up your antidepressant dose, and now you're just feeling kind of jittery and anxious, and you're like, I don't like how I feel, and that's not it because it's like distraction, but like that whole like. I just don't feel right in my skin. And it's like, and nothing is wrong. And I know everything is actually fine, but I guess that's what my brain associates with it when it's like, hey, I just don't like how I feel right now. Oh, fuck, I messed up my hand. Or, oh, shit, I had caffeine a little too late in the day. Yeah. I'm just a little bit wired. And I'm hyper aware of everything. And everything feels like it's about to go wrong. I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so we get we don't have like a ton of info on it, but we know that like different blood affects vampires differently, which
pretty
absolutely. So
that is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Can I say a tangent a bit?
Oh, of course.
I haven't done this in a while. There's been like, hey, here's another piece of media that's a cool thing. I want to talk about Shadowhunters just for a hot second.
Yeah, you're good.
It's a really cool short story about this New York vampire coven in like the 80s, I think, that just got addicted to cocaine, but not the actual cocaine,
right? The
blood of people who were addicted to cocaine,
right?
And it was so bad, and they had to literally lock themselves in this old abandoned hotel where they live in to forcibly dry out because it was just so bad and it was going to get worse, and they were starting to be reckless and get noticed by humans, which meant the Shadowhunters were going to come and kill all of them. It's a great story.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, like, don't do cocaine. That's not the point of the story, but
that's your tip for
whenever
the
I think about letting specific kind of bloods influence vampires, that is where my brain goes, because I thought that was so fascinating.
100%. We get we know that like vampires can survive on animal blood, but they don't like it. It doesn't like give them the same in the same way that
strong or fast, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't make them. It doesn't like
just turn their eyes gold.
No, mostly it's just they don't like it more. So, like vampires enjoy drinking blood.
Yeah,
like it satisfies and fulfills them in a way that's very akin to like eating food. So like they can subsist off of like animal blood, but doing so would be the equivalent of like bread and water for a person.
But see, that's so interesting, because it's like in a world where there is just like humans, and that's like the one species, and vampires are just a human variant.
Right.
The preference for human blood makes sense.
Yeah.
But in a world where there's a bunch of fantasy nonsense all over the place, and you could eat probably a human or dwarf blood or you mentioned orc blood, and it just makes me feel kind of jittery.
Yeah.
Or elf blood.
Yeah.
And that's all fine. But, like, we're going to draw a line at a cow.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like because it seems to be because of souls is what it is.
Oh, so we have decided definitively in Age of Sigmar, in the realms, animals don't have souls.
No.
So all dogs do not go to heaven in the mortal realms.
It seems like the case is no. Or it might be, like, I don't actually know that definitively. It could just be a case of, like, non-sentient souls don't do the thing the vampires need. Or
it's
there's
like
not a flavor to
Coke
them.
versus a Diet Coke.
Yeah. Or, like I said, it's like a nice, like...
It's like a Belgian chocolate Kit Kat versus an American Kit Kat.
Not even that. Like vampires describe being forced to subsist off of animal blood. It's more like a nice Belgian Kit Kat versus like oatmeal.
It's like a Belgian Smartie oatmeal versus an American Smartie.
Yeah, just literally chalk. But yeah, so they can't subsist on animal blood. They don't like it. They prefer sentient peoples, and humans are the pinnacle of that. Probably because it originated in a human.
That's what I was to say.
But we're not sure like the exact details. It's also vampirism cannot be, to our knowledge, passed on to anyone who isn't a human. So,
so all humans are vampires.
Yes,
all vampires
were
humans.
Yes.
Were's
probably more.
Yeah,
probably more accurate. Like you can't cure vampirism because it affects the soul. So
you're gonna tell me there's no vampire goblins?
No.
We just stood here and made the conscious decision not to let there be vampire goblins.
It'd be great, but no.
Vampire dinosaurs from beyond the stars.
That one extra would not work because they're just like immune to corruption. Like their souls can't be fucked with. But
okay, but what if on one of the hard drives where some of the souls were stored, the hard drive got corrupted, and now we have vampire dinosaurs from beyond the stars?
Anything's possible. I mean, that is one of the cool things about Age of Sigmar is that anything's possible. The world is big. Everything is canon, but not everything is true, is the official line, which I think is fun.
Everything is canon, but not everything is true is solid as hell.
Right. And so, yeah, like we could get Vampiric Seraphon, and even the line in the book that talks about like all vampires are human includes like some people say like rumors of like lost like dwarven vampire tribes, but there's no like confirmation. Like they're leaving that door open for you to do. Yeah, absolutely. It's
been 10 years. Wait, I don't know how you have the self-control not to just hit every fun, cool idea that you would ever have.
They'll get it eventually. That's my
call it the Age of Night, and they're just vampires.
Honestly, that's probably what we're gonna. I'm sure we talked about before. Age of Sigmar runs in cycles, where first edition's bad guy was chaos. The good guy's always order. And then first edition's bad guy was chaos. Second edition's was death. Third edition's was destruction. We're back to chaos right now.
I feel like chaos is maybe underlining the whole time, though.
Oh, yeah. Chaos is always the main
chaos,
bad guy.
But sometimes we have to focus on something else.
Yeah, threats get bigger in certain times. So, like...
there's a more pressing threat.
Yeah, first edition was the Realm Gate Wars, so we're hitting all those chaos fortresses around the Realm Gates and stuff. Second edition is the Necroquake, which, guess who did that? And then, third edition was the Era of the Beast, and so that empowered all of, like, Gorkamorka's followers and stuff.
That's cool.
And so it was just more prescient.
What are we doing right now?
The Hour of Ruin.
Hey, that's a fun name.
Right? It's real bad. Things are real bad currently.
When is the thing where they're going to do the thing to announce the thing? Sorry, that wasn't useful, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We're recording this before you already know what they're... I'm going to do a magic trick because you listening to this, dear listener, already know what they announced on the 18th of July. But I'm going to pull a magic trick because I also know. But not through any like clandestine methods. It's just pretty easy to guess. We are going to get an announcement for a new army for Age of Sigmar on the 18th.
Okay.
And it is going to be chaos-aligned dwarves.
Whoa, why would they do that?
We don't know the AOS reason yet. They were a thing in the old world.
Okay.
And so there's probably going to be a through line there. They have their own like minor chaos god that they worship, who's not one of the big 4/big 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Like in the old world, the cast dwarves worshipped Hashut, who is the chaos god of industry.
That makes sense. Honestly, it makes sense that the capitalists would worship chaos.
Yeah. And he was like basically level, maybe like a little bit below the Great Horned Rat in the old world. And so then when the Great Horned Rat pulled a gotcha and like elevated himself to full chaos godhood, we haven't heard anything about Hashut for a little bit. So we don't know if he stuck around or like what's going on with it. We don't know what the details of it are going to be, but we're almost certain it's Chaos Dwarves on the 18th.
Cool.
Yeah. They've been rumored forever, and in the like reveal stream, they kept putting on increasingly elaborate hats, which is a thing that old world Chaos Dwarves are known for, which is funny.
Yeah, that's very good.
They've got a little bit of a like Byzantine like aesthetic to him with like the huge like illustrations of like the Epic of Gilgamesh, and he's got the like tiered hat, like the ziggurat hat. So they've got kind of that going on, and like the very ornate beards. But anyways, not a Chaos Dwarf episode.
Not a Chaos Dwarf episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, all that to say, I wouldn't be surprised that when 5th edition rolls around and it's Death's turn to be like Ascendant again, we might get something vampire focused. We've got a lot of vampires in the narrative recently, with good reason, because they're neat.
Yay! So how did vampirism end up in the mortal realms?
Yeah, so Neff is the first vampire. She spreads vampirism to her brother, Ushoran. I've been saying his name wrong forever. I've been saying it Urshowan. I thought the R was earlier, but it's Ushoran.
I do that too.
Yeah. Neff spreads it to her brother Ushoran.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Generally, I have a note here about this. Notably for Warhammer in general and Age of Sigmar specifically, we don't get a lot of the like, oh, vampirism has turned me into a cursed beast of the night and I am alienated from my society. Vampires fucking love being vampires.
We
generally.
have Lestat, not Louis.
Yes. And so Neff, I have a quote here from like the most recent battle tome. Shout out to my buddy Daniel who lent it to me because he plays vampires. I have a quote here from like a vampire who was asked about like the Soulblight curse and what he thinks about it being called a curse. He says, quote, is it a curse to possess the strength of a dozen warriors? Is it some form of malediction to know true immortality and hold innate command of amethyst magic at one's fingertips? No, I say, the vampire is humanity perfected, refined by the great necromancer into something beyond the mundane limitations of nature. That's generally
So the calling it the Soulblight curse, that's someone else's marketing.
Yes.
This is not the vampire's own PR team. They got to get on that.
Yeah, they love being vampires. But like
okay, what's the downside of being a vampire?
The thirst is the big one.
All right, but like feels like that can get solved pretty easy by just having blood.
Yeah.
And in a world where you don't have to pretend to be secret, that seems way easier.
Yeah, it depends. So vampirism, one of the reasons I like vampirism as like a fantasy storytelling device is that vampirism is never just vampirism, right?
No, it always represents something.
Yeah, it always represents something. Dracula is not an aristocrat by chance, right? Like, and so we'll see it a little bit when we talk about like the nightmare aristocracy, which is the coolest name of anything. But in our case, vampirism is kind of being used as a commentary on like resource scarcity.
Okay.
Because during the Age of Myth, everything's pretty good.
Yeah.
But once we start getting more vampires and once we start getting less like organized like civil societies and vampires start competing with one another and like organizing themselves into hierarchies.
Vampires are immortal. There's only ever going to be more vampires.
Yes.
That would be harder.
Yes. And while it seems like vampires don't need like a ton of blood, they really like blood.
Yeah.
And they can just drink it forever. Like they don't hit a satiation point. And so
you always just kind of want more blood.
Yes. So we're not...
You could always go for more blood.
We're not only going to see like a commentary on scarcity, we're also going to see a commentary of like high-ranking noble vampires will just drown themselves in blood and then literally like derive other vampires underneath their heel of blood as like a means of control.
That sucks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Let's just skip to the end. Do they have to work for Nagash?
No, actually. Yeah, we're gonna talk about at least one who doesn't.
Can they go in the sun?
Yeah, does not seem to be a thing for AOS vampires.
Okay.
They can go in the sun. Some of them can transform into bats and stuff, but it seems to be somewhat inconsistent. Like not all of them possess that ability.
Yeah.
It largely is based on who turns you, seems to be the...
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to talk about I mentioned the nightmare aristocracy. The most interesting thing about vampires, in my opinion, is that they are organized into these bloodlines of like who turned you, and that influences your strain of the Soulblight curse.
Interesting. Okay.
And gives you different powers and stuff, which I think is interesting.
So who called it the Soulblight curse? Do we know?
We don't know.
It just came up.
It's probably like an Assyrian term, I would expect, because that's where we
get
get
a lot of it. Is it just like a bad translation of an Assyrian term?
Could be too.
That would be very funny.
Yeah.
If it's like doesn't actually, if curse is not the proper translation,
right.
but like someone, it's like when you read translations of the Odyssey that make very specific choices about how they're depicting certain characters towards the end of this epic poem. And you're like, I feel like you had certain opinions about women. Mm-hmm. And maybe someone who was doing the translation had certain opinions about vampirism.
Yeah.
And so this word didn't really mean curse, and they just picked curse.
Yeah. Other people don't like vampirism as well. Like, the vampires are chill with it, but yeah, like, it could just be that's the nature of it from the
they're
outside.
like stronger, faster, more powerful than you, and they want to drink your blood. Yep. Yeah, I can see other people not being super cool with that.
Yep. And then the big downside of the thirst is that not only does a vampire like crave blood and is driven by their like need to consume blood, failing to consume blood does not just like make a vampire wither. It doesn't just make them like starve. Say it with me now. Fate worse than death. A vampire who does not consume blood for too long loses their willpower, loses their humanity.
There it is. There's the big drawback.
So if you and this is often done because it's hard to like kill a fellow vampire, and it's a little bit like indignified to kill a fellow vampire. Vampires are generally very concerned with the like optics and the like formality of like optics. What they're a little bit of the like etiquette of like interacting with fellow vampires. We are all like a better class of existence, so we have rules for how we deal with each other. And so it's a little bit indignified. It's a little bit like I would never stoop to kill another vampire, but if there are vampires who make me upset or mad, maybe I chain them in a dungeon for a month, and then once the thirst gets so bad that what they are has wilted away and they are just mindless vampiric beasts now, then I'll let them back out.
Fuck.
Yep.
The optics on that one, I guess, is different.
So we have a type of vampire called Vargeists. Vargeists are just vampires who have gone too long without blood. They're big and like bestial. They have wings that grow off their forelimbs.
At the pre-cup.
Oh, yeah. Yep, those are Vargeists. Yeah. I didn't put them in. I was kicking myself for not putting them in the visual reference. But yeah, you've seen some.
Yes.
Yep. They've got wings growing out of their forelimbs. They just become more like bat-like.
Yeah.
But they completely lose their like inner sense of self. They just turn into mindless monsters.
No, too easy for that to happen.
I was going to say bad. It's very bad. But like I said, it doesn't seem to take like a ton of blood to sustain a vampire. We have a vampire we're going to talk a little bit about in a little bit, whose name is Kato.
Fun name.
I'm not even going to attempt his last name because it's difficult. But he's like a good vampire. He's the protagonist of a novel. Hey. He would probably disagree with you on that, but that's part of why he's a good vampire. And we get a sense throughout the novel that like he's always carrying like an alchemist satchel full of like blood vials, basically. Smart. And he only has like a couple, and he's not like worried basically at all throughout the book about needing to like get more blood. Right? He's
got a little bit of blood.
Yeah, he's got enough.
Do a blood shot, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's got enough to sustain him.
It's like doing just like a wheatgrass shot first thing in the morning, and we're good.
So let's talk about. I mentioned it before. I want to talk about the thing that I think makes AOS vampires really fascinating is this concept of like vampiric dynasty. Vampiric dynasties, these are often defined by who turned you or who turned the person who turned you. Of course. Generally, a vampire's dynasty is treated as like the most important part of their identity. Like when you take the Soulblight curse, when you accept the blood kiss is what they call it, you forego your previous like familial relations. You are not of humanity anymore, and now you are instead part of this big like family of fellow vampires. Type. And like any kind of family, that can mean a lot of different things. Like sometimes that's a family like, hey, we're all family getting together, like hanging out, doing stuff. Yeah,
we're gonna go bowling.
And sometimes that's like a mafia family. That's a hey, I brought you in, so now you do. Yeah, I brought you in, so now you do things for me, and if you don't, you're going to have consequences, right?
You're
Obligation.
Be sleeping with the fishes.
Yes,
you're gonna be sleeping with the fish elves.
Vampires do not have to like stick with their dynasties, but it's so taboo and weird that it is like assumed that a vampire is part of their dynasty, even when that's not like an obvious thing. Like I'll call back to Cato again. Cato is part of one of our dynasties. He's Nulahmian, which is Neferata's dynasty.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was turned by Neferata.
Whoa, very bougie.
Yes. But he hasn't like done vampire stuff in seemingly decades by the time we see him in like his novel. And yet he runs into another like Nagash aligned character, and that character, like, the first time he sees Cato doing something he doesn't like, straight up threatens to like tell Neferata about it. He just assumes that Cato cares about and is invested in that like vampiric hierarchy.
Yeah.
Where like going and telling teacher is a thing you can threaten him with. Yeah. So it's very weird for a vampire to like stray from dynasty, not the least of which because like outside of these vampiric dynasties, vampires aren't trusted. They're not like they're a threat in like human settlements and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very compelling case to stick close to your dynasty, because vampires who try and go it alone and like hunt in human cities without that kind of protection
don't fare well.
No, certainly not. So let's talk about these dynasties. So overall, the whole collective of vampire society is called the Midnight Aristocracy. So that's all of the dynasties. That's all the vampires. And within the Midnight Aristocracy, we have a couple of dynasties who are the big names. These are the ones that everybody knows. We have lesser dynasties often vying for power, but they can get like subsumed into other dynasties. They're usually offshoots of these big dynasties, some mutation in their like specific curse, allowing them to like branch off and be their own thing. But let's start with the biggest one, the first one, the Nulahmian dynasty. This is the personal dynasty of Neferata, obviously, first of the blood. And I have a very nice quote from her provided here. I am no one's servant. I am Neferata, the mother of vampires, the Mortarch of blood. My lesser kin might delude themselves that we are rivals in some ever-fluctuating contest, but we are not even playing the same rules. Nef is the oldest vampire by degrees, obviously. Like, she was the first. It's hard to be older than that. But even then, like, most of the other old world vampires are dead. They died to the old world.
But she didn't?
No. Well, kind of. I never answered how the curse got here. So when the old world exploded, right, Nagash...
Wait. Did it explode?
It collapsed in on itself, like time
imploded.
Time and space and everything stopped meaning anything, right? Because chaos. Like,
because I've been picturing that active, like
very
sped
much more
up
an
decay,
implosion,
folding in on itself. So when you said exploded, that's why I was like, hold on.
Yeah,
I gotta wait. This is important for my brain. For what I picture.
Imploded for sure. Nagash had ascended to godhood. He like shot out into the cosmos, like same as everybody else. Eventually woke up in the mortal realms. In the like end of the end times, Nagash had anointed what he called his Mortarchs. Mort as in death, Arch as in power. Just literally his like most impressive and important generals to like lead his command of his forces during the end times.
Wait, do you say Arch means power?
Yes.
Like Archangel is just power angel.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Or democracy. Demo from person. Yeah, power from the people. Autocracy, power from self. Yeah.
That's fine. Please go on. I'm sorry for interrupting.
You asked so genuinely, it made me second guess, but yeah.
I never thought about it.
Archmagi, yeah. Just the whole, yeah.
It was also, mostly, first my brain was like, Mortarch sounds so stupid for having such good, strong words that make it. And then I started thinking about Arch, and then I was like, hold please.
So some of Nagash's Mortarchs died during the end times, and their soul got taken by chaos. They're just dead. But some of them, especially the ones who were already undead, got like their souls basically clung to Nagash when the world died, and rode like his divine essence into the new world.
Hey, and then a lot of people made it from the old. And I'm starting to think this isn't a new reality, but just an adjacent solar system. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Way, way too many people survived the utter destruction of a reality at the hands of the chaos gods and popped into the next one. When also, though, that apparently didn't happen at all before. Which makes me think we just went to the next street over.
Right. It's complicated. No one's certain for sure. But we know that the mortal realms didn't exist beforehand because they're made out of the magic of the old world. But
interesting.
Yeah.
What was the old world made out of?
Rocks. It's just a planet.
Yeah. Okay. This isn't what the episode is about. But tell me more about vampires.
Yeah, you're good. Basically, long story short, Neferata was one of Nagash's mortarchs in the old world. Mm-hmm. Her soul clung to Nagash when he arrived in the mortal realms. Soulblight is a curse that affects the soul, and so Nef is the mother of vampires in the old world and the new.
Okay, right? Real quick, I do want to specify that I understand why so many things from the old world ended up in the mortal realms. It's because the marketing and the game and the figures. Yes. Like I wanted to be clear. I do understand the meta reason for why this happens so frequently.
Of course,
I'm just saying that, like, in universe. It happened a lot more than I think, and Sigmar was the only one left over there. Anyways, please go on.
And that's you spoke to the marketing reasons and stuff. Part of why we have Neferata and Arkan the Black and another vampire we're going to talk about in a minute, Manfred von Karstein.
Good name.
Right? Is because during the end times, they got shiny new models. And Games Workshop wanted to be like, welcome to Age of Sigmar. We don't want to... You'd have to throw out those models that you bought fresh for the world
shiny,
ending. Yeah.
Good models that you liked so much. No, we're cool. Hey, we already know you're mad, but you can keep it. You can keep the cool model.
Yep.
You can still use it. It's fine.
Nef shows up here, as does Manfred von Karstein, also a vampire, and Nef's brother, Ushoran.
Okay.
Ushoran.
Great.
Kemrians don't have last names, so that's why we have Arkan the Black and Nagash and Parada and Ushoran. Yep. Got him.
Got it in one.
Yeah, Nef is the unquestioned pinnacle of vampire kind. She said herself, even when Nulahmians aren't on top of the power hierarchy in an obvious sense, they are always setting the pace for all the other vampire clans. If someone else momentarily steals the spotlight, they know that it's only a matter of time before Nulahmia is back in the driver's seat.
Back on top.
Yep. Vampires may squabble for today, but Neferata has already claimed forever. Mm-hmm. Neferata considers no one but Nagash her equal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In her mind, she was one of Nagash's first disciples. Nagash is the god of death, and as far as she's concerned, she's the goddess of vampires. Yep. She doesn't contain actual divinity. She doesn't have the special sauce that makes you a god in AOS. But
she hasn't done the thing that Marathi did.
Yeah, exactly, but close enough. She's immensely powerful. She's ancient. She's forgotten more than most people will ever know, right? But even with that, she considers no one but Nagash her equal. Mm-hmm. She does nurse an above average hatred for Manfred, who we're going to talk about in a minute.
Okay,
one of our other vampires. Part of that is that Manfred is the only other proper vampire who shares her position. So in the new world, Nagash went about anointing new mortarchs to help him run his empire of death.
Yeah.
Neferata is still the mortarch of blood. Manfred is the mortarch of night. And so she's mad that she shares a position level with this much younger, much less refined vampire.
This upstart.
And her brother is mortarch as well, but he's crazy, and he spent the last 1,000 years locked in a box. So
shit, he's not doing well.
No, he's doing very bad. He's the mortarch of delusion, so he's not doing great.
That's pretty tight.
Yep.
Why would Nagash pretty?
Because despite being crazy, he does command quite a bit. So they're not what the episode's about, and I know if I let myself go on a crazy tangent, but I am going to briefly mention Ushoran and his the people under his control. Ushoran is ensnared in the Grand Delusion. It seems to be something that happened to him after his arrival in the mortal realms. And basically, despite himself being, like, he's pretty close to, like, a beast. Like, in the old world, his, like, bloodline made him a little bit more monstrous. He was, like, kind of a big, ghoulish, like, creature even back then.
Okay.
But despite still being that in the mortal realms, his mind is wholly ensnared in this delusion that he is like a noble questing king.
Oh.
Like he pictures himself as a King Arthur type, nobly overseeing his like verdant kingdoms.
Oh, gosh.
Even as he is like sitting upon a ruined throne in the realm of death.
That's really sad.
It's very sad. And the saddest part is that his delusion is so strong and so intense that it radiates out from him.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yes. Yeah. Vampires that he turns share in his delusion, and they radiate it to the people around them as well.
Yikes.
In-game faction are called the Flesh Eater Courts, and they are vampires and humans all trapped within the Grand Delusion, living in their own squalor and like ruined cathedrals and castles, fully certain that they are like the pinnacle of nobility, like nobly heading out into the realms to quest and save them from the horrors that lurk at bay.
Why?
Consequence of the delusion? We don't know why.
I guess why is this his delusion is why. Yeah. Is my why.
We don't really know. There's some stuff to point towards. In the old world, there was a human kingdom called Bretonnia, which was very like Arthurian legend. Even as like the old world moved into like the time of like steam power and like guns, Bretonnia clung so powerfully to their like Arthurian like nobility that they had like prayers and blessings they put upon their armor to make them bulletproof, so they could keep being knights in a world with like steam engines.
It's way more fun to be a knight.
And Ushoran lived close to Bretonnia during his time there, and so maybe something with like the death of the world and like souls getting mixed in.
So he wasn't like this beforehand.
No, he was not like this in the old world.
Okay, yeah. No, death of the world and souls. There we go.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I was like, why would this be the thing that a fantasy ancient Egyptian prince would have? Thank you. Yeah, there it is. What the fuck?
Yep. Yeah, during the old world, he was the head of the Strigoi dynasty. That's what that kind of more bestial bloodline was called. And he just kind of was a vampire. Like he lurked in the mountains outside of Sylvania, which was the like classic homeland of the later like dynasties of vampires. But yeah, ever since getting to the mortal realms, he's been trapped in the delusion. He was such a problem for a while that Nagash like put him in his own like basically like nightmare prison inside Shaiish rather than deal with him. But the delusion still spread through his like vampiric like lineage, and the Flesh Eater Courts were just out here doing their own thing. And so eventually Nagash got a Nagash idea, and he let Ushoran out and like played into the delusion and is like, you might be Ushoran refers to himself as the Summer King. He says, you might be the Summer King, but I am your like liege lord. So you have to like quest and do all these things in my name. And Ushoran has fully bought it. And so now that's why.
Obviously, that's how you deal with that problem, Nagash.
I was going to say, so that's why Nagash keeps him around, despite him being like completely off his rocker crazy, is because he can use him and he can use his courts to do Nagash stuff. Yeah.
Oof, that is so twisted.
Right. But so that leaves us with Neferata, Manfred, and Ushoran as the only vampires on the council. Nef does not see Ushoran as a threat because he's crazy and her brother, but she doesn't like Manfred because she sees him as a usurper, as a like upstart. Just mad that they share like a position, right?
That's so funny.
Right. Neferata has kind of internalized the existing order. Like that's an important thing. Like Nagash is the god of death. She's basically the goddess of vampires. The world is as it should be. She lords over her like kingdom in Shaiish, called Nulahmia, which is where we get the Nulahmian dynasty. And it is just like a regal, like aristocratic court. Everything's about like image for Neferata. Again, this is the woman who invented her own form of undeath so that she didn't have to be a skeleton. Like,
respect.
Yeah. So
she is mother.
Yeah. From the outside, it's giving vampirism.
And she is, in fact, giving vampirism to everyone.
Yeah. And so, like, from the outside, like, a visitor to Nulahmia could almost interpret it as just this, like, extremely prestigious and wealthy, like, nation. But that it becomes less and less, like, the more time you spend there, because it's a nation of vampires.
Yeah. I don't think there are any vampire, like, carpenters.
No, certainly not. They get humans to do that, or undead. And that's the weird. So I'm gonna throw a cover off here. All of our dynasties, they've done a very clever thing with the writing. All of our dynasties are metaphorical stand-in for types of power. The kind of power you can wield towards people, basically. Neferata is that kind of like structural power. So Nulahmian vampires are the most aristocratic. They're the most like about keeping up appearances and like that kind of thing. And similarly to that, Nulahmia has a extant like human population. People who live in Nulahmia have relatively decent lives, with the understanding that at some point a vampire will take them. That is the like bargain that they are taking.
Don't like that one very much.
No, it's really bad.
Yeah.
And that can be like the people who work the crops for their own like sake, because like the humans still have to eat. That can be servants within like the palaces and whatnot. No one is immune to that. But you're always operating under the assumption that maybe it's not you.
It won't be me.
Yes. And so you benefit from these like structural things in Nulahmia with that like gamble attached to it. So that's Nef's thing, kind of is a structural, like, this is all a huge, well-oiled, functional nation state.
Nice. Okay.
With evil under the hood, right? Nef is not the only vampire of note who is Nulahmian, however. We already talked about Cato, so I'm going to mention him again. He's not really part of the club. Like, he doesn't participate in like the Nulahmian aristocracy. He's like a lone wanderer. I'm not going to talk about him like too much because he's got a book that's really good. So I kind of want to save it for.
What's the book called?
The Hollow King.
Hollow King.
Cato was king of his own like empire before he was turned to vampirism, and it's rough out here for Cato. He's in a bad way. I'm not going to get into him too much. If you like vampires or want to know more about the setting, it's a really good book about Cato. On the hunt for like a Tzeentchian cult was instrumental in him like losing his kingdom. And so he's just been like hunting Tzeentchian cultists ever since.
As you would.
Yeah. And it's really good. And I highly recommend it. And we might do a bonus episode or something on it at some point because it's very good. But yeah, mentioning him here just because he is technically part of the Nulahmian dynasty. He was turned by Neferata. Going to mention Sakar. We don't know a ton about her. She is the Fang of Nulahmia.
Cool.
Yeah. Fangs are Nef's personal spies and assassins. They're her secret service, basically, operating always in the shadows. She never wants the like overt display of force because it's unbecoming. So she operates usually through spycraft and whatnot. Sakar is the highest ranking. That's what makes her the Fang of Nulahmia. Other people are Fangs. This one's Chief Fang.
Top Fang. Pointy Fang.
Yeah. She's good at her job. And she is, again, this is that like image thing. She is partnered with like a big pet snake, cool. Except it's not a pet. Its name is Ouroboros, cool. Which is a good name, except it does kind of sound like you just saying Ouroboros with a lisp.
Yeah.
Ouroboros. Yeah. Who is one of those gods of death that Nagash killed.
Wait, what?
Yep. So Ouroboros, as his name implies, cannot be permanently killed. He's like the god of the eternal death. And so Nagash just stole all of his like divine power instead and left him depowered, and then literally gave him to Neferata as a pet. And as like a sick like display of power, Nef doesn't even keep this like former depowered god around, like in her own personal employ. She then re-gifted him to like one of her like servants, basically.
That's crazy,
right? Just the statement of like, oh, we're so far above you in your former divinity that you're not even like a second order gift. Like you're not even worth displaying. We're so much better than you. Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy, right?
That's crazy. Fucking Nagash.
Right. Like I said, Nulahmia is the social, political elite of vampirism. All vampires trace back to Nef. So to be Nulahmian, you have to be a first or second turn, basically. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Nulahmia prides itself on its emulation of real nationhood. They want to be at the table with like real like political negotiations and stuff. They don't want to be, oh, you're that like weird vampire enclave. They want to be taken seriously. Mm-hmm. Nulahmia is defined by its glamour and wealth, finest silks, the freshest blood, poured from fountains at elaborate balls, served by human mortal guests. Again, the point is to sell to the world of vampires are elite and noble. Well, noble in the old sense of the word, a higher type of person.
So we were talking about like I think the word aristocrat and like the fine nobility and stuff. I'm definitely picturing like Victorian England aesthetic.
Yeah,
and it's probably the vibe. But then it occurred to me why she was Egyptian.
The rest of the like vampiric aesthetic derives from the like later vampiric dynasties. Like fashion kind of moved forward a little bit, but then it paused again. Most vampires in the old world tended to coalesce around Sylvania.
Interesting. I wonder why.
And Sylvania is there's a big magical ley line there.
So there's a reason.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then like Manfred, who we're going to talk about, he's a von Karstein. The von Karsteins ruled Sylvania before they were all vampires. And so when they got turned to vampires, they just kept ruling it.
Yep.
And Sylvania is part of the former empire. Sylvania is one of the founding provinces of Sigmar's empire.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like the von Karsteins are one of the human tribes that Sigmar united to achieve his own godhood.
Wait, what?
And then a couple hundred years later, vampires rolled in and converted the von Karstein family to vampirism. And so, like, that is a very genuinely, I don't know, like, a ton about the old world, but that has always been genuinely fascinating to me, where we get with the same thing with, like, Nulahmia, where they want to be taken seriously as a nation state. I know you would get these things in the old world with, like, the empire, where Sylvania is a card-carrying province of the empire.
Yeah.
By all legal authority, they have the right to, like, show up to meetings and, like, elect a count and, like, take part in, like, discussions of state.
They're part of the European Union.
Yeah. But they're vampires.
But they're also vampires.
And so there's like this weird gridlock there of like, hey, what are we going to do about these vampires? Well, I don't know. They have a vote on the council.
They have a vote.
Yeah. And so that's where we get that. So like, we get more of the kind of what we traditionally think of as like a Draculian aesthetic, the like long nightgowns and like big coats and stuff from Sylvania.
I guess, that makes sense. And because that's just like a go-to vampire aesthetic. And that's I think obviously why my brain was playing that. I guess I just realized I was disappointed that it wasn't Egyptian.
There's definitely still some like Egyptian, like it's high society and finery is the main
what if that was like our baseline for building fancy vampire off of instead of like European fancy schmancy. It was ancient Egyptian pharaohs and specifically like the Ptolemaic dynasty and Alexandria, which was like Vegas, but also Washington D.C., but also Athens. I was trying to. I can't think of an American example of a place that's all for higher learning, which says a lot about America. I think. All rolled into one.
Cambridge, I guess.
Yeah. So
Massachusetts. Yeah.
But so what if it was like vampires, but they were all running around looking like Cleopatra?
I mean, that'd rip. But that's why we have Nef, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm picturing that she doesn't look like Cleopatra anymore. I bet she's just wearing fancy ball gowns.
Oh, no. She keeps her she's very proud to be Cymrian. Yes.
Oh, thank Nagash. I was so... I can't even complete that joke. That wasn't funny.
I have one more note about Nulahmia. Their military is very funny because the main quirk of it is that like they have their elite like vampiric cavalry. Cavalry is the most noble form of warfare, obviously.
Yep, obviously.
The word knight in many languages just means person on horse, right? So like
so
vampires almost exclusively fight on horseback because it's like noble.
Bat horses? Or horses.
Sometimes they're undead, but a lot of time they're just very well trained horses. We get kind of a Binky situation via Discworld. Yeah. Like they tried the skeleton horses and they're more effort than they're worth, so they just train really good horses. And also there's an element of pride there. Like
horses.
I've put 500 years into the finest like
breeding
war
horses.
Horse. Yeah, exactly.
No, and then when you're a vampire and you can just do that, you know what I mean? When I say bat horse, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And
I just think it's a good aesthetic.
Yeah. Urshuan's got some
good.
His his noble knights riding out to protect the common people are riding big monstrous bat creatures and don't know it. Yeah. But yeah, one of the quirks foot troops among like Soulblight are almost exclusively undead. Like properly undead, because vampires are also undead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like low level undead.
Yeah. But Nulahmia specifically doesn't raise any zombies because they don't want the like stink. It's that appearances thing. Like
zombies smell awful.
Yeah. A Nulahmian cohort marching out is going to be all of like skeletons who have been like hand polished to a gleam in like nice like new armor, not like just whatever they were buried in, right? Like marching out in perfect like Rowan formation, right?
Okay, so this is a good time for ask this question. If a vampire is gonna summon up some skeletons to build a house, who needs to have the carpentry experience?
Vampire.
The vampire.
Yes.
So there are vampire carpenters.
Yes.
The skeletons are just their tools.
Yes.
Okay.
Almost exclusively undead do not have higher function. They're puppets. Very rarely and we're actually going to talk about them later, very rarely you'll get an undead who comes back with their facilities intact, and they usually get like promoted.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They get to have their own like will and do stuff and whatnot. But they generally can't like perform their own necromancy. So it's a weird. We'll talk about them a little bit later. I think they're really interesting. But yeah, if a vampire is raising somebody, those are tools. Like lore-wise, it doesn't quite work like this in game because it'd be bad. But lore-wise, like if you shoot a vampire in the head and he dies, all the skeletons he's animated just like stop moving and eventually crumble to dust. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about our next dynasty, the Von Karsteins.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Good name, really carrying the, like Dracula vampiric tradition.
That, like, Eastern European.
Yes. Yep. Manfred von Karstein is wild. So we see why Neff doesn't like him right off the jump.
Okay.
Because if Neff is the, like, finery and nobility and we are a better class of, like, person than you. Here's a quote from Manfred. Honor, dignity, nobility. Too many of my kind cling to these weakling ideals as if such concepts were worth anything. All that matters is power, who wields it, and to what purpose.
Oh, shit.
All else is illusion.
Okay, damn.
Yeah.
You got a picture of him?
Yes. He's next on the... so the visual A should be like just two generic vampires. We had pictures of... we have Neff, and then Lady with the Snake is Sakaar.
Oh, hey!
Yeah, she's got that snake. And then Kato should be the next picture after her.
Yo!
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. This dude's great. This sword's so big. He had Cloud Strife could talk.
Yeah, he's hanging out.
Okay, tell me more about him.
Doing cool stuff. And then, next one is Manfred.
Well, this guy's cape is turning into bats.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, now we're going to go to Manfred. Whoa, there he is. Wow, look at that guy. He's bald. Yeah.
Manfred is the Mortarch of Night. He is deceptive and duplicitous. He's our second oldest. Well, he's third oldest after Neff and Yushorin. I'll get it eventually.
Dalton, no, you won't. And that's not a mark on you. I think that's a critique of the name.
he's the only other sane vampire from the old world, and he couldn't be more different from Neferata.
Mm-hmm.
He and Nef are both in the, like, vampires are the best camp, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, they both love being vampires, but while Neferata almost kind of, like, generally likes mortals, she likes them in the same way you like a pet.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to think anything, like, about, like, that she's not going to put them in positions of power, God forbid.
Yeah.
But she's generally, like, she likes watching their little silly things that they do, like yearn and
she finds them endearing.
Yeah. Manfred hates mortals.
Oh, okay, man.
He despises mortals, which is a hard position to hold when you need mortals to, like, exist. Yeah. It's a bit of he's got a weird compulsion, basically, where he just does not like humanity, and he doesn't like mortals like existing. He kind of shares Nagash's vision of a world of death, an empire of the dead all in service, except that he thinks that it should be all in service to him.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
I can't believe Nagash hasn't killed this guy yet.
Right. He's useful. If Neferata is a schemer within the systems that be, content to reinforce them and keep playing the game, confident that she'll always be above the board, Manfred is always looking at the actual pieces, like how easy it would be to pick them up and throw them into the next room, right? Like, he doesn't want to play the game. He doesn't want to do the politicking or the, like, jostling for favor. He is trying to build up a force big enough to challenge and destroy Nagash so that he can take over. Yeah.
I can't believe Nagash hasn't killed this guy yet.
Like I said, in the meantime, he does that by destroying Nagash's enemies. Like, it's unclear how much is Manfred getting played and how much it's, like, we see a little bit of what, like, a lot of chaos worshippers have, where the smarter end of chaos worshippers will go, aha, I will use the tools of chaos and I will not fall to chaos, and I will outsmart them. And then they wake up and they're fully fall into chaos because that's what it does. So we don't know if that's, like, the Manfred relationship where he's like, haha, I use Nagash's resources to build power against him, and I just keep doing things Nagash wants me to do, and I'll definitely turn on him eventually. Or if Nagash is just, like, oblivious to it, because that's definitely within his, like, personality to not realize that anyone could challenge him. He's very proud. Yeah, ultimate goal is to turn on Nagash, unseat him as the god of death, and then use that power to kill all of the other gods until only he remains.
Oh, okay, sure, man.
Yeah. Again, not a noble pursuit. Manfred von Karstein is specifically mad that he is subject to the whims of the powerful.
Cool. And then what are you going to do about the chaos demons?
And it's a later problem. I have another fun quote from him. My fate is to win, whatever the cost.
Okay, man.
Right. So contrast with Nef, the von Karstein dynasty is based in the fortress city of Sternestine, capital of Karstinia.
Cool.
And it is is the most militarily successful dynasty.
Of course.
They pride themselves on their military capability. Their holdings are vast and populous, but it is the von Karstein nature to want more. Like, he has not developed his lands. He is not, like...
Just wants more lands.
Yes. He just wants to be the biggest and the best and the most powerful. Even though there are, like, a ton of mortals who, like, live within lands that are technically claimed by the von Karstein dynasty. The von Karsteins have developed kind of a weird compunction where it is seen as almost, like, shameful to feed within von Karstein lands. They are a military dynasty. You feed a field. You go out and conquer more, and then you inflict that upon the enemy.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're a little bit, like, Spartan, or, like, fictional Spartan, the way we tend to talk about Spartans, not how they actually were. If Nulahmia, I have in my notes, if Nulahmia wants to be adored, the von Karsteins want to be dreaded.
Dreaded. I thought feared, but dreaded is so specific.
Yes. It's not just fear, a thing that comes upon you in the moment.
Yes,
it is
dread.
The knowledge. Yes.
Yeah, dread haunts you. You can't escape from dread. That's that feeling of when you fucked up your antidepressant.
Yes.
Now you're just a little jittery all the time. And you're just like, I don't like this feeling.
They're the other side of that power dynamic. they are the knowledge that while systems may be powerful and the ways that they influence you may be powerful, if you are strong enough, you can just break them. And that's the power that the von Karsteins represent, is that someone who is powerful enough doesn't have to play by the rules unless they want to, and they can still use them against you. And
probably literally by just taking the rules and hitting you with them physically.
Yep.
Just bashing you over the head with the rule book.
Yes. The von Karstein tactics range the whole gamut of awfulness. They will kill people and drink their blood, and then intentionally give them very infectious diseases, and then return them as zombies to the settlements from which they came from.
That's so mean.
Awful. They'll, like I said, they'll revive people in the field with death magic, not even as effective fighters, but just so that you're fighting against the corpses of people you were just fighting alongside.
That one's rough.
Yep. Again, the point is not what happens. The point is who wins. And the von Karsteins always want it to be them.
And it's their fate to win.
Yep, exactly. Despite all their history, the von Karsteins are pretty straightforward, so that's what we have for them. So let's talk about the Castelli, another one of our dynasties. We have our next picture in the visual aid.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. The Castelli
got a figure.
Yeah, he's riding it. We have two pictures of the same guy. One's art, but it doesn't show him very well, so the other is his new model. That is Prince Vordry, the patriarch of the Castelli dynasty.
What is this terrible, awesome dragon he's on?
We're going to talk about him. Prince Vordry, the Saint of Slaughter, the Blood Emperor. Vordry is the unquestioned greatest knight of vampire kind. A living legend even beyond the whisperings of the Midnight Aristocracy. He is, bar none, probably the vampire that most people know the most about, because he has developed a legend and a reputation outside of even vampirism.
Good for him.
Yeah, right. He's got kind of a weird thing about him. So he's known as the Blood Emperor, but he's not the first Blood Emperor.
Okay.
He was mentored by a previous vampire referred to as the Blood Emperor, who has since been erased from history.
Hey.
So all we know is that there was a previous Blood Emperor, but he took his title to honor him.
Wait. He didn't erase him from history?
No,
I totally thought he was
his
the
mentor.
One.
Yeah.
I totally thought he was the one that erased him as a power move.
No.
Whoa.
I'll give you 3 guesses who erased him from history.
Oh, was it Nagash?
It was Nagash.
Nagash, you really should maybe look at this other dude who's definitely wanting to step. Get rid of this Mortark.
Yeah.
Get rid of the Mortark of Night over there. He's shady as hell.
Notably, Prince Vordry, not a Mortark. First big head vampire we're talking about.
The vampire, yeah.
Yep. But he is a universal point of culture within vampirism, basically.
Neat.
Prince Vordry founded the Order of Blood Knights. These are your hyper elite vampire cavalry.
Cool.
All vampires who go to war aspire to be a blood knight. That is the peak of I am known for being the best at vampire warfare.
Okay.
Is being a blood knight. So much so that while Vordry is the first blood knight and he founded the Order of Blood Knights and he oversees the training of all blood knights, blood knights will train under Vordry and then they will go back to usually their own dynasty.
Oh.
So that's what makes Vordry powerful. That's what makes the Castelli dynasty in consideration with these other huge names, is that Neferata's military composed of a lot of blood knights.
Yeah.
Manfred's military composed of a lot of blood knights.
Interesting.
If there was ever political strife between the Castelli and these other dynasty, maybe a bunch of blood knights don't show up to the next battle. Because hypothetically their loyalties lie first with the Nulahmians and the von Karsteins. But they spent maybe multiple lifetimes learning how to be the perfect soldiers under Vordry's instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Oh
right?
My gosh.
So basically every other vampiric dynasty has at least some blood knights in it. Again, they're considered the pinnacle of vampiric warfare.
Yeah.
Both noble and effective. But Vordry himself, so yeah, we hinted at with the previous Blood Emperor that Nagash erased. Vordry is not a willing servant of Nagash.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He serves Nagash, but not because it was like his first choice.
Okay.
So in the aftermath of Battle of Burning Skies, right? Nagash betrays Sigmar. Sigmar goes to Azir, closes the gates. Nagash brings all of his undead back to Shyish, tries to fortify it against Archaon. Archaon eventually gets in. He wins. He destroys Nagash's mortal form.
Good.
Right?
Listen, I'm not on the side of Chaos Knights, but I'm certainly not.
Right.
I'm certainly not on the side of Nagash.
No. Nagash's followers collect like what's left of his immortal remains to like take him back to like
this is the second time they've had to do this.
Yeah, it happens kind of frequently.
That's embarrassing.
But
that's some Osiris shit. Get it together.
While they are transporting Nagash's remains during the Age of Chaos after his fight with Archaon, Vordry struck at the caravan, hoping to like destroy Nagash's mortal remains forever.
Yeah,
and
wow,
like,
this would just be my favorite.
Yeah, release Shyish. We actually don't know for sure why he did it. My guess is because like the original Blood Emperor was someone Nagash destroyed during his like initial conquest of Shyish. Like the original Blood Emperor had this like order of knights and stuff, like, and this his own little kind of like kingdom that he oversaw. And as part of Nagash's like I am death and everything has become me thing, his like conquest took him to a point where he had conflict with the Blood Emperor, destroyed him. Vordry was next in line. He said, if you'll serve me, then I won't destroy you too. Vordry reluctantly agrees, and then Age of Chaos comes, and Vordry is ambushing Nagash's caravan to try and destroy his remains, probably in recompense for what he did, this like forced servitude. So specifically, unsure if he could destroy like Nagash's remains with the means available to him. He tried to steal them and throw them into a realm gate to the realm of chaos. Yeah. And just like trap him there forever.
That feels like the best move.
Right.
No, the best move is to hit him with the hammer so hard he flies out of the mortal realms.
Right.
But next to that.
He only failed because Nagash's remains were being safeguarded by Archaon. Yeah. So Archaon the Black stopped him, and Nagash's spirit like manifested with the help of like the necromancers and vampires escorting the caravan.
Damn.
And Nagash bound Vordry in chains of amethyst to carry out his will forever as punishment, is the verbiage.
Sucks a lot.
Yes.
Sucks a lot.
So Vordry spent a long time just like in a sarcophagus buried in the ground. Like Nagash gave him the isolationist treatment to punish him for quite a bit.
That seems like his go-to.
Yeah. But eventually, as like part of his like continuing conquest and like training of blood knights and all that kind of stuff, Nagash brought him back out. And to keep him on a tight leash, Vordry has like a couple of things going against him. So first off, Vordry is bound to his ancestral castle. So the place where he trained with the Blood Emperor, the place where he lived and grew up. That is where he is like strictly bound. He cannot be away from the castle. I have it in my notes here.
It's like Dracula in the dirt.
Yeah.
Has he tried the dirt? He could try the dirt. Worked for Dracula. Backfired real hard, but it worked for Dracula.
There's a complication with that we'll get to. But the Crimson Keep, he cannot be away from the Crimson Keep for more than 24 hours. Or not even that he'll die, it's just that he'll go back to the sarcophagus in the ground.
Oh, no.
Like, yeah. Bound by those amethyst chains. They'll just pull him back. Nagash paired Vordry with another seditious element. The undead dragon Shortamere.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Shortamere is sentient. Shortamere has like full intelligence, but he is undead. One of the things that happens, I think it's during the Age of Myth, is like early Age of Myth before like things started to get chill. There's a character that I hate named Kragnos.
Okay.
This episode's not about him, and I don't know when we're going to talk about him because I hate him because he's stupid.
Okay, I want to ask questions.
But part of his like history is that his people had a huge war with dragons, and the dragons won initially, but then when the Age of Chaos broke, he came back and he like did amass retribution against dragonkind. He is part of why we mentioned the Stormcast episode. He's part of why Krondus and Kazurai were hiding out for like a big chunk of the Age of Chaos, because they were hiding from Kragnos.
Ooh.
But Shortamere died to Kragnos and then was like resurrected into undeath, and then tried to seek compact with Nagash to bring his people back from death.
Oh.
Yeah. And initially it worked, and Nagash started raising all of these dragons, but Shortamere quickly found out that as he was like giving Nagash the locations of these great like dragon burials, Nagash wasn't like bringing them back with their facilities intact. He was bringing them back as weapons. Yeah. And so he also tried to turn Nagash, didn't work.
Damn it!
And so as a karmic like punishment, Nagash paired Shortamane and Vordry together so he could just like keep tabs on them at the same time, basically.
Are they friends?
Yeah, they're pretty chill.
I feel like they have a lot in common.
Yeah, they're chiller than most. But yeah, so that's why Dragon and Vordry and his dragon buddy hang out, and they teach vampires to be blood knights.
That's pretty tight.
Neither Vordry nor Shortamere can leave the Crimson Keep for more than 24 hours, but there's a quirk to that. So the Castelli are like, they're not actually like a bloodline, right? Because blood knights can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the Nulahmians or the Von Karsteins will send vampires to train to be blood knights, and then they'll usually go back.
Yeah.
So they're a dynasty, but they're not united by sharing the same like variant of the Soulblight curse, which is interesting. So yeah, so the Castelli are neat in that way. Like, it's a bunch of different bloodlines coming together to all learn, or it's a bunch of different vampires all coming together to learn how to be a blood knight.
Yeah.
Any vampire may swear themselves to the Castelli and take the oath of the blood knight, which is pretty strict.
Yeah.
You might find. Yeah. Part of what makes them elite warriors is that the Castelli like swear to abide by this kind of like chivalric oath. So the Castelli are the most repulsed by the bestial and monstrous nature of vampirism. They do not languish in like the feeding of blood. They don't like express that kind of like excessive like I mean, they're choosing to take like a chivalric oath to like be great warriors. They're not adorning themselves in finery and doing like the grand balls and stuff. They've chosen a different path. And so they reject a lot of the trappings of kind of like the traditional vampiric thing in order to be more disciplined warriors, which is fascinating. So yeah, Neff enjoys the power in politicking, and Manny sees it as yet another tool, but the Castelli actively work to suppress it and limit its hold on their psyche. They feed only when strictly necessary. They don't allow themselves any of the wild fighting styles of many other vampires. Like, a lot of vampires in the field will just like fight with their bare hands because they're extremely strong and they can just do that. They train only in the noble art of mounted warfare, and they maintain an image of control whenever possible. This doesn't always work.
Interesting.
Blood knights in the field are not blood knights in their nice, quiet monastery.
Yeah.
And
maybe things in practice are different than things on paper.
Yep. And so blood knights do also have a reputation, especially from the other side, people who face them in battle, of blood knights who have like pushed themselves nearly to the point of starvation from their like oaths to like only consume blood when absolutely necessary, like hitting that initial cavalry charge and then just losing it, like leaping from their horses and tearing people in half with their bare hands, like to get at their blood. And then they get to have a nice little shame about it because because again, like,
that's rough.
Monastic oath and like chivalrous oath and whatnot. Like I said, the Castelli often go back to their own dynasty once they're trained, or even the like standing force of Castelli will like loan themselves to their dynasties when they're needed, or like just in service to Nagash in general. But many stay around the Crimson Keep to serve Vordry specifically. The really interesting thing about the Keep, and what allows Vordry and Shortamere to like operate as like instruments of Nagash, is that the Keep doesn't have a fixed location.
Fascinating.
Any ruin anywhere on any realm
of
like a castle or a lordly estate or anything of like proper like import has a chance to manifest the Crimson Keep.
Oh, that's tight as hell.
Yeah. So you're nestled into a little valley below the ruins of some ancient, like, chaos fortress. Mm-hmm. Surprise, today it's the Crimson Keep.
Oh, shit.
Vordry and his Blood Knights are riding out from it to enact the will of Nagash.
Damn. You control where it shows up?
No. Nagash might be able to. We're not sure. Mm-hmm. But Vordry certainly cannot. Okay. It just shows up somewhere, and he assumes that that's what he's like supposed to be doing. Basically, okay. The keep delivers him to any like places. He's never. So that's how Vordry plays out Nagash's will despite his curse. That he can't like stay away from the keep. Is that it just delivers him places. He rides out into whatever the lands the keep delivers him to, and he's never able to employ any of his skills above a base mastery of violence. Rude. Right? That's the other thing that Nagash has his like clause in him about. Is that Vordry is by all accounts like he's a chivalrous knight. He's good at statecraft, and he's good at like poetry, right? Like he just embodies these other ideals that he never gets to employ because he just has to go out and do violence.
That sucks. Right? Oh man.
If Nulahmia is power that systems hold over us, and Von Karstein is power for power's own sake, then the Castelli are like subservient power, not just to like a person, but also to an ideal.
Yeah, it feels, especially they talk about like, oh, they stress themselves to the point of breaking so easily.
Yes.
Breaking, but like they need blood. That's the thing about them. They don't let them have it, and then they break and fall, basically quote, fall off the wagon so hard, and then they're ashamed of this thing that they are inherently supposed to do.
Yes.
It's also giving a lot of like religious suppression vibes.
I was gonna say it's a little bit of like I choose specifically to say like philosophical or like ideal based power because it is bigger than like just religious power, even though that is kind of how it's meant to be like read. But yeah, like that's what the Castelli like represent, especially because you're never forced to be Castelli. It's the only dynasty that's not part of your like blood
lineage.
Yeah, it's a thing you choose to be, and that's interesting in and of its own. Yes.
It's also the idea of like, just because you choose to subscribe to this power doesn't mean the harm it causes isn't still harmful.
Yes. But that's the Castelli. We've got 2 more dynasties to talk about, and they are, I like to think of them as the fun cousins.
Hey! Okay.
So we have our 3 kind of core like dynasties. These are like the pinnacles of vampiric society.
Yeah.
And then we have kind of like the weird outliers. And so now we're going to talk about the weird outliers.
Cool.
Starting with we have this one in our visual reference. We're going to talk about the Vyrkos dynasty, which is neat.
Whoa!
Yeah.
This guy's so cool. What's going on here?
That is our matriarch of the Vyrkos dynasty.
This gal's so cool.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Belladama Volga.
I like her.
She's great. First thing we need to know about Belladama. I do not know how this squares, because literally in the same text, like less than a page apart, we get the statement like all vampires are descended from Neferata.
Yeah.
And then the first line in Volga's like biography is that she was not turned by a fellow vampire. So
okay, who wrote the biography?
It's a word of God. Like it's not an in-universe biography.
So this is true. Okay.
Yes, so this is true. So we have these 2 like word of God, like all things come from Neferata, or all vampires come from Neferata. But Belladama Volga is a vampire who was not turned by another vampire. So like,
okay, but they don't elaborate on how.
No. Well, we know how she became a vampire.
Okay.
So Belladama was turned into a vampire by a god beast, one of those like ancient, like our Volcatrix or Dracothian's a god beast.
Yeah.
There is an ancient god beast named Hrunspel. All the Vyrkos have a very like Viking thing going on. So Hrunspel is the great cairn wolf. And he blessed Belladama with the Soulblight curse, but his like specific strain of the Soulblight curse.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. It's weird because it doesn't square with like all vampires are descended from Neferata.
Except for this one right here.
Yes.
And anyone she would turn.
Yeah. Yeah, because Belladama will also give her blood curse.
Yeah.
And it has the same like weird quirks to it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've noticed yet, but if you take another look at Belladama,
she's got beastly legs.
Yep, her legs are wolf.
Yeah, she's got wolf legs, and
she's riding a big wolf.
And like raven wings.
Yes.
And also arms.
I think the wings are just like part of her cloak.
Oh, where are they? Oh, I thought she had wolf legs and wings. Okay. No, she's still cool. I just thought there was like a lot of like animal chimera stuff going on here.
Mostly wolf.
Mostly wolf. Well, that's fine. You said the god beast was a wolf. That makes sense. Okay, go on.
We don't know why Belladama went to Hernspil. She did it when she was pretty young. Ooh. We know, which does also give the implication that she like still ages with her vampire curse, which is not a thing.
She looks like a Baba Yaga.
Yeah, yes, that's the intent, for sure.
Nice.
Some say that Belladama just sought it for power. Others say that she was sought by Hrenspil to carry its legacy. My favorite, and the one that I think has the most textual evidence, is that Belladama went looking for a way to enact retribution on a lover who jilted her.
Bet. Good for you, babe.
Especially because in multiple places it states that big wolf that she rides is her ex-husband, who she turned into a wolf.
Yes.
Belladama, I'll just rip the Band-Aid off right now. The Vyrkos are about like familial power. Like that's the kind of like vaguely mafioso, like you're doing this because it's important to the family. You have been bound together by this thing that you couldn't have chosen. Like, and that is important in a way that is like super borderline supernatural.
Yeah.
Like you don't do this because you are being ordered. You do this because it would make Belladama upset if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe. Belladama is the unquestioned ruler of all Vyrkos. Like she's the godfather.
Cool.
Belladama has developed a whole like Belladama's a little bit like Halloween monster. Like we don't know how much she's cultivated intentionally, but people know about Belladama outside of like vampire stuff. As like a story for children.
A spooky story for children.
The Baba Yaga comparison kind of flies.
Yeah.
Like there we get an example, an in-universe story about Belladama Volga that you might tell to someone about just like about this like vampire lady who lives in the hills.
That's great.
Belladama came across a young girl in the woods, desperate for food. Belladama offered her broth to soothe her stomach, but the girl asked for more food to save her starving family. Twice, Volga refused, but on the third time, she transformed the girl's family into wolves, who then hunted their fellow villagers to Belladama's cackling laughter. And you can... That has the shape of a, like... moral lesson to it, right? Is don't ask more of strangers than they're willing to offer you, almost a little. Like again, a very kind of like
it's because it's not the fact that she asked that she was punished, it's that she asked 3 times.
Yes, exactly, because Belladama gave her something. She offered her a gift, even a gift to like soothe her like aches and wiles, but the fact that she kept insisting.
So I think asking is not the bad thing.
Yes.
Ask for the things you need is not the bad thing, but to again and again the pressure. Also, I love that it's 3 because that's another very like folktale fairy tale element. Is it on the 3rd time?
Yeah. It's like the real life Baba Yaga story, right? One of her like foundational stories of the girl who like falls down a hole and she finds Baba Yaga, and Baba Yaga tells her to do her chores, and the girl is very dutiful and she does all of her chores very well. And so Baba Yaga gives her, I can't remember what she gives her, but it's every time she speaks, like a little piece of gold falls out of her mouth. And she goes back home and she shows her a like mean and cruel like sister, and her sister goes and
she gets bugs that come out of her mouth.
Yes, because she half-asses all of the chores. So again, there's the shape of like a weird moral lesson to the story. Like is interesting.
Can I talk real quick about a retelling of this
please.
I own?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. It's that exact thing, except it's not a Baba Yaga one. It's like a variant where it's like this fairy who gives like the nice twin, she speaks and jewels fall from her mouth because she gave this old lady like something to drink from the well, and she was so kind. And then the mean sister runs to get the same thing, and then she gets bugs. But the bug thing turns out to be great for the mean sister because everyone hates that. So she just is like, hey, give me what I want or I'm going to talk at you. And they're like, oh God, okay, you can have whatever you want. And then the sister, the jewel sister, the prince sees her and is like, oh my gosh, I love you. I want to marry you. And she's like, I guess I'll live in a castle now. But like no one listens to her because every time she speaks, they just dive at her and take all the jewels and stuff like that and rip her. Like, she's getting married. She's got these beautiful dresses and she keeps accidentally dropping jewels on them, and the handmaidens tear them all apart and stuff. And then eventually the fairy switches them, not their powers, but like makes the bug sister go help by being like, and when I get angry, I speak in bugs, so you better not make me talk unless I want to. You better listen when I say things. It's really cute.
Hell yeah.
I really love
like
this
that.
one. Yeah.
I like that.
My Aunt Mary gave this like storybook collection to me. It's got that story in it, and it's got a Sleeping Beauty retelling. And it's got one more because it definitely comes in threes, but I'm not drawing on the third one at this time. But I got this when I was in 4th grade. And I still have it. I think it's maybe the second oldest book that I've continuously owned my whole life.
Hell yeah. We love a folklore. Folklore is so underappreciated.
Folklore.
Like, it's really cool. I'm a big fan. And that sounds like a particularly fun retelling. Like,
yeah. I really, really like that one.
Hell yeah. One of Belladamma's powers that has also like reached the like folklore like consensus is that she turns people into wolves. Like that is one of her most consistent powers. She can do it in game.
Cool.
Yeah, she has a spell she casts that if it kills any enemy models, she just gets to add wolves to her retinue, which is very fun.
Yeah.
And she in lore is always surrounded by like a big wolf pack that are people that disappointed her, that she turned into wolves.
Disappointed her. It's such a
not even foes. Yeah,
not like cross. Just I'm really disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I can tell. I'm walking on all fours now. You don't have to tell me you're disappointed. I know.
And then the big one is that again, it's said around campfires and in like around hearths and whatnot in the places where like Volga is known to like tread, that you have to be careful if you speak ill of a spouse, especially like an unfaithful spouse, because if you call out too hard for someone to avenge you, your unfaithful spouse, Belladamma might answer.
Oh.
Again, she seems to have a particular fixation with like unfaithfulness. And
I wonder why. Yeah. That's very good. I like that a lot. This one's really fun.
Right. Belladamma's great. But unfortunately, we don't have like a ton more about her, honestly. She's a little bit new, but I'm sure we're going to get more about her because she's just kind of like a folkloric witch almost.
Yeah,
and, like, that's neat. I like that a lot. But we do have like a bunch of other Vyrkos. For whatever reason, it's just a quirk of the Vyrkos dynasty that they have like a ton of like famous faces.
Cool.
You might have noticed this episode, we're not going to have like a proper famous faces section because the whole thing is famous faces.
Yeah.
We just have like a lot of named vampires. And the Vyrkos are like almost half of them by themselves. Which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially because it's like brand new. Like Vyrkos came out at the end of like 2nd edition. So they've only been around for like a couple of years as opposed to...
Someone just had a lot of like ideas
I was going
for
to
these
say,
guys.
yeah. So let's talk about other notable Vyrkos. The next slide should be Radukar.
Hey, that's tight as hell.
Yeah, so we'll start with Little Radukar.
Okay, yeah.
So in life, Radukar was a Viking raider who, as he was confident in his power, he loved being this like big, strong like raider who took what he wanted. But as age started to catch up to him,
as it does,
yep, he went seeking the Vyrkos to like offer himself his services, basically like turn me and I will be like a servant of your family, and like we both win. Basically, I get to keep doing my Viking raider, express my will to power, and you get me as an ally. His like initiation rite was he was tasked with plundering the tomb of an ancient vampire and slaying the 2-headed wolf that dwelled within. So you can see he's got a two-headed wolf
pelt. Yep. So I think he was successful there.
Yep. His like reward after he did that, he was given the blood kiss of the Vyrkos. It was turned into a Vyrkos vampire, and then he took and held the city of Mournhold as his vassal until the Necroquake. which was a big shit that Nagash pulled. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it another time. But when the Necroquake rolled through, he basically decided to stop pretending and took direct power of the city.
Oh.
Like before, it was just like, this is Radukar, he lives here and he drinks all of our wine and like we pay him taxes. And then when the Necroquake hit, he was like, okay, and he just killed everybody in power and took control of the city directly.
Yeah, okay.
He renamed it Ulfenkarn, the Cursed City, and then he got beat up in a board game.
What the fuck?
So Warhammer occasionally does, outside of their core games, they'll do like smaller board games that are meant to be like both their own kind, like contained narrative things. So like this is the weirdness of it, is that Radukar got introduced to us through this board game. It's called Cursed City. It uses like Warhammer miniatures. And you can take those miniatures and then put them in like the full game of Age of Sigmar. Nice. So you get kind of a dual thing going on there, which is neat.
Yeah.
A lot of the like, it's like
it's like the game I found at the thrift store, and you're like, hey, too bad those minis aren't included. Those have been really cool.
Yep. And so the board game's pretty neat. It's like it's a little bit of a like pandemic adjacent thing where everybody works on the same. Like everyone's on the same team trying to beat Radukar, and then there's like a deck of cards that determines like what the bad guys are doing.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, it's neat. It's a little asynchronous like co-op like board game.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. But he was done in by a host of plucky adventurers.
Nice.
And he succumbed to his Vyrkos curse. So Vyrkos vampires can be anywhere on the like spectrum of less wolfy to more wolfy. And in his defeat, Radukar transformed into Big Radukar.
See, I was wondering how we get this guy. That's the same guy.
Yes. In narrative, he's very much played it up as like, oh, he's this like terrifying, like monstrous beast now that stalks in the night, and if you see him coming, you better run. But we have a lot to indicate that like probably not.
Okay.
Like his mind's probably fine in there. He's just really playing it up.
As you would.
He was a coastal raider for most of his life. He kept control of this like city through like intimidation.
Yeah.
He's probably trying to build his own like reputation as this like horrifying, unkillable beast while still being clever enough to like know what fights to pick and whatnot, which is cool.
Yeah.
We haven't heard a lot about him since Ulfenkarn fell, but I'm sure he'll be around a little bit more. And then we have a couple of people who we know basically nothing about. We just got little one-line things. And you can tell because most of them don't have artwork. They just have their miniatures.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, first we have Lady Anika.
She's cool. She's got bat arm.
Yeah. She is Radukar's master of ceremonies. So she served alongside him in Ulfenkarn. That's why we don't have a ton about her, because she was another one of the miniatures that came in that box that you put on the board to play the board game. Yep. She is... Her main like defining thing is that she is ravenous even by vampire standards. She almost got kicked out of Radukar's troop before the like city fell because she was just going through all of their blood. She takes like a performance enhancing drug that's implied to be like a kind of a cocaine equivalent.
Cocaine blood, what did I say?
Yeah, which probably contributes to her appetite. So she's just always like whacked out and like hungry. But that's like all we know about her. She's also in the Cursed City. You beat her up, maybe, as part of the board game. The next one is not from the board game, which is why she has art.
Oh, she's cool. Hey!
Yeah. That's Ivia Volga, the granddaughter of Belladonna. her actual biological granddaughter. Okay. Yeah. Who's also turned into a vampire. She's the only person we know that's like actually Belladonna's like blood kin.
This is the actual family?
Yes. Yep.
Biologically?
Yep. But she doesn't like the rest of the clan. She's a little bit of a rebel. She's an isolationist renegade. She doesn't play nice with the rest of the clan. She really likes hunting. She kind of reminds me of all those like wild hunt stories where the person leading the wild hunt is just like a noble woman who liked hunting too much.
Yeah,
that's kind of her like deal.
Yep.
She has magic bats that like can sense monsters, and they like swarm around her and tell her where they are because she just really likes hunting big beasts.
Yes, if you were a vampire, what are you going to hunt? A stag?
Exactly. And to make it more challenging for herself, she hunts them with that hunting axe.
Aha!
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah,
it's not sporting otherwise.
Exactly. But that's basically all we have of her.
She's cool.
Strained relationship with Belladonna. She's like come back to the clan in recent years kind of to prove that she doesn't need them almost, where she's like, I'm going to do things to help you specifically to show that I don't need you. Like, I'm going to be the bigger person.
I'll be a benefit to you so you recognize how valuable I am, but I don't need you. You need me.
Yes, exactly. This is not I'm estranged because you don't want me. This is I'm estranged because I'm making my own choices a little bit. Again, she's got a little bit of like rebellious teenager energy, which is wild for someone who's probably hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And then the last of our big named Vyrkos, we have...
What a weird little guy.
Yeah, he's a rat boy. But he wouldn't go far. He was like human nobility in the city of Ulfenkarn before Radukar took power. Once Radukar did take power, he tried to like worm his way into Radukar's employ, and Radukar's not about that life, so he savaged him to within an inch of his life. Inadvertently passed the Vyrkos curse onto him, it seems like. Did not intend to give him vampirism, but his body was literally just like tossed in the sewers as he was like clinging to life. The blood kiss probably keeping him alive just on the fringe. And he survived by using his vampiric powers to enthrall individual rats and then like pull them over to him and drink their blood.
Absolutely. Of course he did. Of fucking course he did.
Yep. So that close to death, that soon after receiving the blood kiss and drinking the blood of a lot of rats, it mutated his Vyrkos curse to where he's not wolfy. He's like rat-like.
That makes sense. Yeah, he looks very like pointy. And,
you can see a bunch of rat tails under the back of his cloak.
Oh, is that what those are?
Yeah.
I hate it.
He can't transform into, like a lot of Vyrkos can transform into wolves to like run and whatnot. He can't, but he can turn into a swarm of rats. He cannot turn into an individual rat.
No, the mass.
Yeah,
the mass.
He turns into a swarm of rats.
Fantastic.
Which is very fun. But Vyrkos broadly, like I said, they're the weird cousins of vampirism. They live in the woods. They don't partake in like the grand balls or the finery or any of that stuff. For Vyrkos, it's booze and blood. They don't fuck with Nagash. No. They are technically in service to him, but it's a very distant thing. Mostly they're in service to Belladama, and currently Belladama is fine working with Nagash. But if someday Belladama said, we're not doing the Nagash thing anymore, all of the Vyrkos would be like, dope, cool.
We're not doing the Nagash thing anymore.
Yes.
Did you hear we're not doing the Nagash thing anymore?
Yeah, all right. Because Belladama is in
Why?
charge.
Well, Belladonna said, obviously. Yeah, sorry. That's a stupid question.
Booze, blood, and clan games. The Vyrkos do participate in like Scottish-style clan games, augmented by vampirism. Like, see how far you can toss a caber when you have vampire powers, which is rad.
Listen, we give Stephanie Meyer a hard time for a lot of things in Twilight. Vampire baseball is fucking rad as hell, and you can all shut up.
They're much more spread out than many dynasties. Like the Nulahmians, the Von Karsteins, the Castelli all kind of center around a main city, right? Whereas the Vyrkos clans are spread wide and far, but they will always answer the call of Belladama, right? If the Vyrkos are always a nuisance, like wherever they are, but if Belladama calls them all together, then they become a true existential threat.
That's a hashtag problem right there.
Yes. Vyrkos are kind of rare, though. Like, of the vampire clans, they're one of the least populous. Partially because the Vyrkos, like, blood kiss is so intense that a lot of people who receive it just die.
Damn!
Yeah.
Okay!
Yeah. So not everyone could take the kiss. That's part of why people have to prove themselves. Like, that's why Radukar had to do the thing to, prove that he had the, like, ferocity in him to, like, take the curse. Some Vyrkos just, like, mutate into, like, wolf monsters when they get the curse because they can't handle it.
It just kind of overpowers them rather than controlling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for the most part, like, they've gotten pretty good at who they pass the curse along to. They operate as independent clans unless Belladama calls them together. They're just.
Is that why we have Belladama's granddaughter, not her daughter?
Probably. That's kind of the implication I got. Or just her daughter didn't want to be a vampire.
Could be that.
Could also be that. Yeah. Because vampire can't have offspring. So Ivia would have had to happen when Belladama was mortal. So probably a quick turnaround on that one.
Yeah.
Or I guess Ivia wouldn't have had to happen when Belladama was mortal, but Ivia's parent would have either mom or dad. Probably mom, because we're getting a matriarchal.
Feels matriarchal, yeah.
So probably her mom was
yeah,
mortal, and we don't know if she took the blood kiss or just didn't, or what happened with her.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah. But that's it for the Vyrkos. We got one more dynasty to talk about. And they're neat. They're one of my faves. The Avangori dynasty.
Oh,
they got a
here
cool
we go. This
name.
is where Elvira lives.
Yeah.
What is happening?
That's a great question.
Oh my god.
The leader of the Avangori dynasty is Lauka Vi, the mother of nightmares.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So, we'll talk about Lauka and we'll get into the Avangori because it's inextricable from Lauka. So Lauka was once the leader of a clan of vampires dedicated to mastering their curse through only feeding on great beasts. They're almost doing the cat.
I heard grape beast for a second, and I was like, there were beasts of grape?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, back it up. But I was definitely prepared to be like raisins.
They're with the They're with the skull's throne.
No! Bump the mic.
Oh no. So they were almost doing the Castelli thing, where it's like we're just going to feed on like beasts, monsters. We're not going to let this like turn us into something that like preys on other people, and we're going to exude a very strong sense of control for that. Like I said, they both to like dodge having to feed on sentient prey, a thing they didn't want to do, and to train themselves to endure constant strife. But that all went skew during a hunt. So that original tribe existed on Gur, realm of beasts. That's where all the good hunting is.
All the good hunting.
Lauka, during a fight, made contact with a vein of pure Gurish magic.
Oh shit.
Yes. And it mutated her into what you see there.
Yeah, it would.
Where she's like a bat monster dragon centaur.
Bat monster dragon centaur, yeah.
Kind of wyvern-esque because she's got the big bat wing forelimbs and
but those limbs definitely just also look like horse legs.
Yep. Huge centaur-like draconic from the waist down. Lauka returned to her clan only to be reviled. They saw her as another great beast. They thought that she succumbed to like the curse, and they were trying to kill her. So she slew them and set out to prove that her new monstrousness made her no less of a vampire than her noble kin.
Good for her.
Lauka is the voice of the imperfect.
Oh, good for her!
Yeah. So continuing our string of like what each of the great vampiric dynasties say about power, Lauka is like power denied. Lauka is the power that you do not get to wield anymore because of a thing you have been labeled as.
Oh,
yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, yeah.
People like Lauka.
I like Lauka!
Yeah. So Lauka's not the only one of her kind. A vampire who mutates in such a way is called Vangorian.
Is this the last picture?
Yeah.
They're not more of the Vangorian?
They mostly just look like Lauka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, I think it's mostly a constraint of model. So this is a thing that happens a lot with Warhammer models, where you will get here is our big important named characters model, and also if you already own that one, you can buy the same kit and put a different head on them, and now they're not that person anymore. They're the generic version of that, is what that's called.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like cost effective.
Yeah,
it would be so cool if they're all like so different of these like beast things.
We have more different ones like in a lore perspective, but we just don't have like images of them and like model.
I need Games
we just
Workshop
have Vangorian
to fork over some cash for their artists to get crazy.
Right.
You know, some artists would love to design more of these.
We're definitely going to get more, I think, because people really like Lauka. Yeah. She has her own book. It's called Mother of Nightmares.
Great book. I know I said Neff was mother, but actually Lauka is mother, obviously.
She is mother.
And like not just mother in terms of like aesthetic, but I think mother in terms of like thematics as well.
Yes. One of my Age of Sigmar YouTubers I really like, who does like strategy stuff, did a rundown with the new edition of like how all the armies play, and he included an outtake where he did accidentally call Lauka the mommy of nightmares.
No, you can't see that on the internet.
It just laughs it off, but like again, she's she's popular in a flag carrying communities. That's how we'll say that. But Lauka's ultimate ambition is to see her fellow, like, bestial, mutated, like, Vangorian vampires who are still in control of their, like, facilities. They just look different, recognized and accepted amongst the great vampire dynasties.
Oh, good for her.
Like, the Avangori aren't being invited to those, like, balls and banquets and, like, diplomatic meetings because they're monstrous. Like,
they would look so good in a goddamn suit.
Right.
You know it. You're all just jealous because they'd look more fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Neff doesn't want to look upon them. They're a corruption of her image of, like, the perfect nobility of vampirism, right? Like, and so that's the moral philosophy that Lauka brings to stuff. That goal has created a moral sense amongst her of, like, why do we need to pretend to be high society aristocrats? We're vampires.
I don't need to be play acting.
Yeah. Like, what does it serve us to emulate the power structures of, like, humans who look down on us and despise us? Like, what are we getting from that? We're monsters, and while you might hide from it, it's nobler to lavish in it. There's a great quote from her in the book. There is no honor in denying what thou art.
Yeah, I can see why the flag community really likes Lauka.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's ours.
She's great. And to that end, the Avangori are home to lots of monster things. So there's Lauka and the Vangorians.
Is it Fangorians or Vangorians?
Vengorians.
Vengorian. Okay.
Yes. Root word.
Fangorian felt too much on the nose.
Root word of Avangori.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, what does Avangori mean?
I don't know.
Cool, man.
It's made up word. It's
good.
Avangori and the Vangorians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like so worried
No.
for a second. I was like,
No.
I think I just got used to it. Okay, thank God. Oh.
You're fine. So, like I said, Lauka and the Vangorians all, like, flock to the Avangori, obviously, because that's where they're going to be most welcome. Like, occasionally the other dynasties will, like, allow Vangorians in their midst because they're big bat monsters, and that can be advantageous militarily, but not usually. I think the Vyrkos are most likely to, like, chill with them because, like... Yeah, Vangorian shows up to the party and downs a keg, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the Vyrkos are here for it. Like,
Also,
cheer them
Vyrkos
on.
look like wolves.
I was going to say, yeah.
They're not going to be, like, icked out by someone with, like, a giant bat centaur. They're like, yeah, tight.
Again, here these
Can you
are
turn into a swarm of bats or just, like, a big bat?
Just a
I
big
can
bat.
turn into a wolf, so...
But as an extension of that, like, moral philosophy, the Avangori also play at safeguarding Vargeists, those vampires who are denied blood and they turn into, like, bat monsters.
What?
Yeah, they just keep safeguard over them. Think, like, maybe they might be able to reverse it at some point, like, or just, like, a place for kinship for even the lost. Yeah, like, right? Like, the Avangori are rad.
Must be someplace in this hormonal cycle because I'm actively, like, tearing up right now, gang. Like, oh my God. That's so beautiful.
Right?
Wow,
It's good. Again, Wardens of the Lost, the Curse, the Downtrodden.
Wardens of the Lost, the Curse, the Downtrodden. This is for us. This is for the gays.
And as an extension of that, they're also the most adept at keeping and caring for the various, like, vampiric monsters that sometimes exist amongst vampiric hosts. This has gotten a little bit, like, sketchy with, like, lore stuff because vampire monsters have, like, some weird fluctuating lore stuff. In the past, we have terrorgeists, which are Vargeists who, like, mutate further to where they become these, like, huge draconic monster things. Previously, you could have, like, a vampire riding a Vargeist or a terrorgeist in, like, your vampire army. You can't anymore, and that's, like, a recent development. Like, the model just got put in. The model got put with Yusharan and his buddies, because you can put those Strigoi, like, ghoul, like, vampires on one instead. Same thing with zombie dragons. Zombie dragons themselves got pushed over to Usharan and replaced thematically with our Revenant Draculus. That's Shortimer and his, like, raised dragon buddies that Nagash brought back.
Oh, that makes sense.
So we do still get Revenant Draculus with the Avangori, but that's all a little bit like shaky because like we don't really have Terrorgeist anymore, even though that's like what happens to a Vargeist if the condition gets worse. And the Avangori would care for them as well, like find places to keep them and like make sure that they were able to like stretch their wings and stuff. So we don't know what the status of that is, but the Avangori are still philosophically there.
Yeah.
Like we care for the things that aren't like, you don't get to just like push us aside and like ignore us because we don't fit your perfect like ideal of what a vampire is.
Yeah, damn. I'm not, but if I were, would just do a whole army of Avangori, but every figure's got like a pride theme on it for the different like types of flags. Like everyone.
She's got a rad model.
It just looks like Pride Fest on the fucking board.
But those are our big dynasties. Like we haven't heard much more from the Avangori. I'm sure we will because they're very popular and Lauka's great. Like I said, she has her own book. There's like hints that like it's not as explicit as I was led to believe at one point, but there are hints that like Lauka and our best girl from Stormcast, Yndrasta and Lauka were probably mortal at the same time, and they might have known each other because they were both from Gur.
Oh my god!
And that's like a weird dichotomy. Maybe it's kind of the implication that we've gotten from some materials, but it's not really clear.
Make them girlfriends.
Well, and then if they did that, we also have like a fun dramatic irony because now Yndrasta is Sigmar's great huntress. Like she is the hunter of beasts and monstrous things, and Lauka is the defender of beasts and monstrous things. And so we would get like a really interesting. I love a good cursed or Yuri.
Yeah.
So that would be neat, but we don't have anything like that.
But do it, cowards.
Yep.
We're not cowards. We've got some good...
we got a lot of stuff going on.
Nah, actually, well, Games Workshop's got a lot of good stuff. We literally just did a Pride bonus episode all about it. They're not cowards.
On the death front, we just had like a huge expansion to Yusharan and all of his like stuff. Like he didn't have a model for a long time, and that was justified by him being in a box in the ground. And then he got let out of that box, and now he has an extremely cool model. No, because he's not a Soulblight. He's leading the Flesh Eater Courts, so he'll have his own episode.
Okay. I'll just put this down then.
Yeah, him and his buddies will have their episode. Actually, it's good for the recording. I'm going to pull up Yusharan so you can see him.
Yeah. Wait, he's a vampire.
Yes, but he's not part of the Soulblight Gravelords. So we'll do a whole episode on the Flesh Eater Courts and their like grand illusion and all that.
Wait. Hold on. There's more than one vampire thing?
Yes.
Dalton, you said this is a vampire episode. No, you didn't say that at the top. You said they were also called the Soulblight Cursed. And I was like, that's just another word for vampire. You didn't say there was other branching vampire. You even said this guy was turned by his sister, who is the vampire queen.
To be fair, there's two vampire things. But the Flesh Eater Courts have as much going on as the Soulblight have going on.
Which is fair.
So that's why,
No, and it's fair, and you made the right call. I'm just saying at the top, 2 hours ago, you did not specify that there were 2 episodes for Vampire. And I just got blindsided at the end of the vampire episode, finding out, no, there's another vampire episode to come. Maybe not the next episode.
I was going to say, it's not going to be the next one. I want to take a break from vampires.
That's fair. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, but then we'll talk about Usharan and all of his fun, delusional friends. But I'll let you see the picture of him so we get the...
Sorry, it's taking my brain a second to figure out what I'm looking at. Oh my god!
Yeah, he's huge. He's got a crown of bone and marrow because he's crazy.
He's got like his back has got like a nest of bone.
Yep, that is the shroud cage. It's got his childhood blanket woven into it.
No,
because it keeps him from losing it.
He looks like he's actively losing it right now.
He's always losing it.
Stormcast are having a bad fucking time.
Yes.
Shit.
The delusion's so bad that even Stormcast in proximity to it can fall under it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. It's bad.
That's bad. Yeah.
But yeah, last thing I want to talk about in this episode, because it is like Soulblight and their like thing with like necromancy and some of our cool like necromancy stuff. I'm going to mention them real briefly because we have a tiny amount of lore and it's unclear if they're even going to stick around because they're ancient models. But I'll mention the Mortis engine. which is what happens when a really powerful necromancer dies. You put him in a box, and you put that box on like a floating chair, and then you wheel it around and use its necromantic energies to like revive zombies.
Okay.
It's neat. It's got a kind of cool model, but it's old, and so we don't know. And it like didn't get very much lore in this new book, and so that's kind of the signals of like this might not be part of the range for much longer. From that same kit, you can make a blood throne. So same circumstance. That's a vampire palanquin. So you just have a bunch of vampires on it, and they have a big bowl full of blood that they use to scry the future, and they're scooping that blood off of people that they fight. So
of course they're. That's actually great. I think that's great.
Right. And then the masked foot troops of the Soulblight are zombies and skeletons. Those are zombies and skeletons. There's nothing special to say there. They're zombies and skeletons.
You saw them in one thing, you probably saw them in another thing.
Yep.
Zombies and skeletons. Pretty standard edition.
The interesting component are what we call barrow knights. So I mentioned way long ago that it would come back, and it finally is. Occasionally, when a person is raised as an undead, they keep their facilities intact. That seems to be more common amongst people who held like political power or command in life.
Interesting.
Like something about that makes it more likely that their like consciousness will stick to them. And when that happens, they often maintain command of anyone that they were in command of in life.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Barrow Knights and what are now known as Barrow Kingdoms are the rare moment when vampires have to acquiesce to non-vampires. Because if you raise like a White King, which is usually the like highest echelon of that, if you raise a White King and all of their like soldiers and stuff come with them, which often includes like soldiers that they did not directly command, but that technically were under their command by virtue of like being part of their kingdom. So we're talking maybe like hundreds of years of the dead all coming back at once, and this one like sentient undead having control of them. Now you have a situation where like, because the White King wants to stay conscious, so they're not going to like turn on the vampire for no reason. But the vampire explicitly is not in command. And so they have to kind of play nice with this like sentient undead, this just like skeleton man who is controlling this big legion of like skeleton hordes and stuff. And that's neat. I like that a lot.
The last couple minutes, I've been turning over the idea of that the ones that maintain their faculties are the ones that had like a bunch of like political leadership in life. And my brain was initially like, okay, is that meant to suggest that they were inherently more special or more strong than they are able to hold on to themselves more? And that is kind of a bummer, because it suggests that folks who did not obtain that level of like tangible hierarchical power are inherently less sure of themselves or less important as a human soul than others. And I think no. I think it also could be interpreted to mean they physically could not let go of the power they once had.
I've always thought of it as like pattern keeping almost. Like the idea that they are wielding power is already so like imprinted on their soul that once you fill those channels with like necromancy, it just still takes that shape. Is like how
But the person's not there?
No. Like their soul doesn't return to their body. Just the undead is still like
I thought it was like a part of their
leadership.
soul.
No.
Was then completely different. Yep, it's pattern recognition.
It's close to what you said, where it's like they just couldn't let go of it. Right? Like it's so much that it imprinted upon their corpse that they needed to be like clinging to power.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. Okay. Right, Nagash isn't gonna just let them take souls back.
No, certainly not. But that's Soulblight. That's all of our big cool dynasties. That's a little note about undead and whatnot.
Cool.
And that's great. I like our vampires. I like all of our like spooky little dynasties and the big power games of the Von Karsteins and the Nulahmians and our cool little corner with the weird cousins and the Vyrkos and the Avangori, and it's neat. I like the vampires quite a bit. Yeah, Avangori are the best. We need more models for them. Is the only because for the most part, if you actually like set out to play an Avangori army right now, that mostly just kind of looks like you'll have Lauka and you'll have like an Avangorian lord or two, and maybe some like Revenant Draculas, but then you'll just have like a bunch of skeletons and zombies like every other like vampire army.
Yeah, and that feels so uninteresting, especially because this a point of these characters is that they have been rejected because they look so distinctly different than other vampires. So their army should look distinctly different than the other vampire armies.
We just need to fill in for their like normal troops, basically, because like you can tell a Vyrkos army on the table like immediately, because they usually don't use very many like skeletons and zombies. They just have a shitload of wolves.
Yeah, they have wolves.
Yeah. So we just need like a Vanguard. I guess we kind of have it with Vargeist, but Vargeist are already a little bit too like they're big and sturdy.
Yeah.
We just need like lesser monstrous vampires.
Yeah,
Give me like
something just to fill the horde.
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully soon.
Nice.
But that's our Soulblight Gravelords episode. I hope you all enjoyed listening to our viewers. I certainly enjoyed talking about it.
This was fun. They're all fun. This was like LA vampires. So this is really fun.
It was a hoot. It was a very good time. I'm not sure right now yet what the next episode is going to be. I'm still researching the Cities episode. Hey, gang, turns out there's a lot to the Cities of Sigmar.
Fascinating.
Yeah, there's just a lot to talk about and cover and research. So that's probably going to be like a 2 or 3-parter episode just because there's too much. So it's probably also not going to be the next episode. But I'm not sure what the next episode is going to be yet. I kind of want to dip back into, because we talked about destruction, we talked about order, we're talking about death now. I kind of want to dip back into, maybe talk about Chaos faction. Maybe we'll like see what we learn about Chaos Dwarfs from that reveal stream and try and strike while the iron's hot.
Hot in July? You mean that live stream in July?
Yeah, that too. Or we'll just head back to order. We'll do an episode on Sylvaneth or something. That'll be fun.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. You'll get an episode.
You'll find out when the episode goes up. Yeah. But in the meantime, I have been, as always, your Vengorian Lord, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darian Smart, and you should go carve a pumpkin.
Have a wonderful evening.
Happy spooky season.
Yeah.